Welcome to Made in Montgomery. I'm Susan Kennedy. There are more than 500 farms and agricultural enterprises here in Montgomery County that contribute more than $300 million to the economy. And the majority of those businesses are family-owned, like the Sugarloaf Winery. Since 2006, the Sugarloaf Mountain Vineyard has been producing about a dozen different varieties of award-winning white, red, and rosé wines. Right down the road from the mountain of the same name, this vineyard's 21 acres produces grapes that are hand-picked, cold-soaked, fermented, and aged in stainless steel or French oak barrels.
We have a small tasting room here and some open space for people to hang out. And I also have a winery. We can make basically 6,000 around cases wine every year.
It's a wonderful spot to spend an afternoon enjoying a picnic, great wine, and live music.
Today is our basically like normal, regular weekend Sunday, so people just hang out. A lot of people actually came here from DC area, so that's really like short drive for them, less than an hour, so they can have the wine, have the countryside, hiking the mountains, especially because we are near to the Sugarloaf.
Emily and her family acquired the farm in 2014. Originally from China, she is her family's representative here in the United States. And with a degree in winemaking, she is ready for the challenge.
It's a lot of pressure, but I think I'm good at it because I like to making wine. For right now, I just little bit need to learn some business and marketing stuff. That's a lot of things to learn and it's still new to this area. But I think I can do this because I can making good wine.
While Montgomery County, Maryland is not known as a winemaking region, Emily claims this climate has its advantages.
Winter is not that harsh, but we got snow, so we don't really need to, like California, to irrigation a lot. And we also got really hot summer sometimes, so that's help grape to growing like the sugar. That's pretty much the ideal place for us to growing wine here.
The Sugarloaf Mountain Vineyard is a great example of the economic and recreational assets available in the Up County, something that's made possible in this county's agricultural reserve.
It's exciting to see people continuing to visit the ag reserves for so many different reasons. And Sugarloaf Mountain Vineyards, one that is one of our only vineyards that's here in Montgomery County, it really brings people together, brings community. So, today we'll see people who are here doing wine tastings. We also have people who are members in wine clubs that are here. Sugarloaf can actually now send out wines thanks to our General Assembly. So we have people across the country who are actually enjoying wine made right here in Montgomery County.
And the Montgomery County Council's recently passed initiative exempting local producers of alcohol from the WSSC System Development Charge also helps this growing industry.
Well, it's so important because, for us, it really is making sure that we're trying to make it economical to be able to do business. And so from that perspective, having that system development charge that's not there any longer, hindering folks from being able to make a go of it, is really the right step for us.
Those government really supports us, lower the taxes for us. That's really helped, especially for us as a vineyard. We need that.
And what is next for the Sugarloaf Mountain Vineyard?
So I try to rebuild my old bar. So trying to make that into a nice, bigger tasting room for everybody. Especially right now, we are not really winter friendly. So we want to make that to everybody, during winter if they wanna drinking wine.
The Sugarloaf Mountain Vineyard is open 7 days a week from noon to 6 p.m. No reservations are needed to visit the tasting room, but for information on winery tours, weekend music, the wine club, or special events, check out the website at smvwinery.com. Another family-owned business located here in the rolling hills of Dickerson is the Soleado Lavender Farm. The Soleado Lavender Farm is located in the tranquil hills of the Agricultural Reserve at the foot of Sugarloaf Mountain.
We have about close to 3 acres of lavender. And we're
Sophia
looking
Watkins
to-
and her fiance Kevin Salmaron started this venture 9 years ago because they were looking for something to do with her family farm.
So my dad was growing wheat and soybeans organically here in the late 60s, and so there was a real love of farming and need to care for this farm already in the family. And we sort of took some time trying to figure out what we were going to do, and it became Lavender.
The family farm covers close to 300 acres in Dickerson. Sophia and Kevin oversee 30 of those acres for growing lavender and hosting other events. Right now there are 3 acres of lavender at the farm, and eventually there will be 8. There are several different varieties of English and French lavender grown at the Soleado farm. You can pick your own at the farm, and there are handmade organic products available for purchase.
So it's all from the essential oil that we sell here is from steam distilled lavender that we harvest. So there are a ton of things you can do with lavender, and it also allows us to make shelf-stable products. So the fact that we don't have to get it to market at one particular time during the year, but can make a natural handmade product that's made in Maryland, made in Montgomery County, and have it available for people all year round. That's really what inspired us.
On our visit to the farm, Sophia and Kevin were conducting one of their many classes. This time, participants were making a lavender fan. Sophia told us, as a Montgomery County native who grew up on this farm, it's her dream to expose as many people as possible to the rich experience of being on a farm.
We get people come out here who have never been to a farm. And that's so significant because that means we did something different enough that we attracted people who wouldn't get to a farm otherwise. And so we see people come out who have mobility issues and probably haven't gotten out to a farm in years and make the time to come out here. And that means a lot to us, that people will come out. And so it has to do with experiencing nature and experiencing this really special part of Montgomery County.
There's no cost to visit the farm, and to find out when you can visit, check out the website at soleadolavender.com. The farm-to-table movement has taken off here in Montgomery County. In this next story, we learn about a business that's capitalized on this trend in hopes of cashing in on this booming industry.
Right.
Russ Testa is a trained personal chef who is a fan of cooking with locally grown produce. When it became more difficult for him to get what he needed to create his recipes, he joined the Montgomery County New Farmer Project and started his own farm. That was in 2014.
It's the garlic scape. So it's when the garlic starts to form seeds, you cut that off.
Fast forward to today, and Testa has jumped on the meal kit bandwagon using the items he raises on his farm. His business, Your Chef's Table, pairs 2 of his passions, cooking and farming.
I always had this vision of doing kind of meal kits, ways that were ready for people to have, people to cook, because I think people are busy, they need to have everything, because everything's ready for them, everything's kind of designed for them. And so it's an easy way for people to get good, nutritious, local stuff, local foods without having to really worry about all the details.
I'm color coding them. So the different kits, we do a different colored dot on the box.
Your Chef's Table started distributing meal kits last fall.
And then this makes a quesadillas, so either make 4 of them folded over or 2 flat ones that are like 8-inch.
The business has grown steadily.
Thank you.
The vegetables are fresh, and you know, it kind of goes good with planning the meal for the day.
Testa says today they sell about 50 kits per month.
We also do meal kits as well. The other thing we do is we do ready-to-make meals with all our things that comes with the recipe and all the ingredients.
Every Thursday you can visit his farm and pick up a meal, and they also sell at other various farmers markets in the county.
Strawberries!
Most of his customers learn about his meal kits by word of mouth, something he finds very rewarding.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
It's been quite enjoyable. It's particularly, we started the Tacoma Park Elementary School market, as well as some of our other local things we've been doing. And that when parents come and say, hey, I got my kids to eat vegetables.
I'm going to pick 1 carrot because I like carrots.
You like carrots?
I got my husband to eat vegetables.
What is this?
That's shallots. Shallots and green garlic.
Let's smell that.
How do you like your
I can smell
This is what I'm saying.
It's been kind of a really fun piece of it. At the same time, our recipes are not so complex that, it's going to take you 5 hours to make a meal for two. Get a meal kit that's like an hour and a half, maybe max of cooking, including preparation, and sometimes even less than that. It's simple, clean, and able to get that really out there on the plate.
Got some meal kits, and then we got asparagus. We have broccoli and cabbage new this week.
Broccoli and cabbage new. Yeah. Okay, cool.
They really are happy to be able to like this, as they know they're going to make it because it's also been picked like usually the day before. Like we picked everything we're packing now was picked yesterday.
Grow the beets here?
Yep.
Oh yeah, we picked those yesterday too.
Look at these beautiful beets. Who doesn't want to eat this?
They don't have to go home and immediately cook it. They can actually wait even 2 or 3 days before they have to cook it because it's all been cooked fresh. The meats we do, if we raise our own chickens here on the property as well. We've got everything comes either frozen or refrigerated, so it's ready to last 2 or 3 days before they have to cook it. So there's that kind of flexibility in it as well.
Testa also creates each of the recipes for the meal kits. On our visit to the farm, Russ and his crew were boxing one of the week's offerings. We're going to talk about this cheeseburger roulade with a kale salad.
So we're making a cheeseburger roulade, so it's a play on the idea of a cheeseburger, but you use, instead of a bun, you use a burrito. And what you'll do is you'll take your burrito, you'll put a little ketchup and mustard sauce, so you let people know in advance what they need. And so they'll do with a tortilla, they'll do an 8-inch large tortilla, which we provide as well.
I'm going to try this recipe that actually looks like it might not be too tough, but it's all fresh, and I'm really excited to give it to my family.
And so they'll put it all together, kind of layer it up with chard or collards, and then we'll have the ground beef along with some radishes. So you're basically sauteing your radishes with your ground beef to give you a little more vegetable in there, as well as the tomatoes. And then you put the layer of that, and then you put a layer of cheese, and then you roll it up.
Okay, they have a little olive oil on top now, and they're ready to go in the oven for 20 minutes.
And then put it in the oven. And so it's a way of doing a lower carb kind of cheeseburger. But then it'll come also with a kale salad. So it's a good way a fun way of kind of doing kind of a play on cheeseburger without all the buns and such.
Very tasty.
Just a lot of good flavors together.
So, does Russ Testa envision competing with companies like Blue Apron and Plated? Not at all. He's more than satisfied serving Montgomery County.
We really are wanting to have people have local food sheds. We want people to eat as local as possible. And so we don't take our markets to Baltimore. We've been invited to go to places like that. But we want to stay here, so we have all of our markets are in Montgomery County. We want to try to stay that way as long as we can. Just from a point of view of we really want it to be as close as possible. We don't want to have to drive to the markets 2 or 3 hours to get there as well. So it gets everything close for us, and for us that's a real importance. And there's a little more, I think Montgomery County has a little more of a kind of a food culture that's developing as well, and the desire was local. So that's been, I think, a helpful thing for us to help to play on and try to satisfy that part of the market as well.
I've got broccoli, I've got asparagus, I've got the most beautiful strawberries I've ever seen, and tomato and fresh eggs. What could be better?
Nice.
And I'm gonna grill me some garlic and onion.
I love it. Yeah. I mean, it's great. It's great to see people with their smiles on their face. I think they're thinking about what they're going to make with it. And I think food always gives people good memories. I mean, I think when you have good food, we have often good memories with our food.
Yeah. Eat well. Oh, I shall.
To find out where you can find one of the tasty meal kits from Your Chef's Table, visit their website at yourchefstable.net. Well, that does it for this edition of Made in Montgomery. I'm Susan Kennedy. Thanks for watching.
Introducing Ride On Extra, coming to Route 355, fall of 2017. The bus with less stop and more go. Regular Ride On service has 80 stops between Lake Forest Transit Center and the Medical Center Metro Station. Ride On Extra has 85% fewer stops. Plus, Ride On Extra is all about the extras. Free Wi-Fi, USB charging ports, real-time info displays, and runs every 10 minutes. It's Ride On Extra. Less stop, more go.
Last summer, my new dad took me on vacation. First, we went deep sea fishing.
I'm so proud of you, son.
Then, we went on Thunder Shark 3 times.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.